now to the big story that we are talking about and how we are here at Republic also building up, especially when it comes to Chandrayaan-2. India is all set to enter elite space club as ISRO announces the launch of Chandrayaan-2. Now, this will be India's big step towards a manned moon mission, as it will become the only fourth nation right after United States, Russia and China to land and ride on the moon. Now, the aim of this mission is to improve our understanding of the moon and possibly discoveries that will benefit India and humanity as a whole. Now, notably, we will be looking at the launch date of Chandrayaan-2 moon mission from the Satish Dhawan Space Center in Sriharikota, Andhra Pradesh, and the mission will be launched with an aim to place a rover on the moon. So, get a better understanding of this entire project, we have former ISRO Director Madhavan Nair to tell us about this space program in detail. Because good afternoon to you, sir. As part of this Chandrayaan-1, Mr. Nair, you were also very closely involved in the space program. Can you tell us more about the current project in detail and what it has taken for India to get this far in our space journey, the challenges also that we have faced so far? Can you tell us more at the launch of this Bahubali?
Well, Indian space program is based on a long-term vision of what the country needs. The primary goal is to use the space technology for the benefit of the common man. We are providing this service in the communication, digital data transfer, the Earth observation and so on as primary objective. And also a part of this program expenditure is made on the science like exploration of moon, Mars or even galaxies and so on. Now, as far as this Chandrayaan-2 mission is concerned, there are a few rather technical challenges or technical problems we have solved in the past. As you have mentioned, this is going to be the launch of Bahubali, the heaviest launcher India has got. We started with a 40-kilogram satellite with SLV-3 way back in 1980. From there, it can take nearly 4 tons of payload into a geotransfer orbit with GSLV Mark III. I must admit here that the entire design, development, the technology, rocket technology, whether it is solid, liquid or cryogenic, is done here. As you are aware that GSLV Mark II was with the Russian cryogenic engine initially, but that was substituted with Indian cryogenic engine. But here we are going with a totally Indian cryogenic engine, which is 3 times more powerful. That is about 20 tons thrust compared to the Russian engine. And definitely that's already proven 2 flights, and this is the 3rd launch of that. And we expect this mission to be achieved very precisely. As Dr. Kapoor has mentioned, initially the spacecraft will be put into a highly elliptical orbit around Earth, equivalent to geotransfer orbit. And from there, step by step, we will raise the orbit and finally send it out of the gravitational field of Earth. And from there, the journey, about 4 lakh kilometers, it's going to be through the uncharted waters. We don't know what is there in store for us with respect to the gravitational field, radiation, etc., outside the boundary of Earth's gravitational field. So, but that's why the reason that we are doing the step-by-step process. We will be able to calibrate the orbit, and finally when it arrives near the moon, we have to reduce the velocity of our spacecraft at a precise instant and to a predetermined value. Then only it can get into a lunar orbit first. After getting into the lunar orbit, the landing process is going to be tough. In atmospheric phase, we have done this in the past, but there we have the advantage of Earth's atmosphere, which can be used for slowing down the spacecraft and finally use a set of parachutes to descend slowly. But in moon, none of this is possible. There is no atmosphere, it is virtually vacuum condition. So we have to depend on a series of rocket engines to orient and reduce the velocity to the extent of to about 2 meters per second is a comfortable velocity by which it can touch down. And while we are touching down, one has to look at the terrain in detail, whether there are rocks and boulders around, or whether it is in a curved or whether soft or hard surface, and then decide and maneuver it to that spot for the soft landing. It's a very, very complex operation involving multiple cameras and laser system and so on. So that way, as far as India is concerned, this will be another benchmark in terms of technology. But in the terms of science, the precise information on the lunar conditions like radiation, the solar radiation, and other stars, how they contribute to the entire radiation belt and so on, need to be studied. So this data will be useful later for if you want to establish the observatory there, unmanned to start with, and later it may be a manned observatory itself. So all these inputs will go towards that step in achieving the goals of a space program. There's a long-term goals. But immediately our idea is to see whether there are minerals or other elements which are commercially exploitable and whether we can make use of for various applications. For example, the helium-3, it is an ideal fuel for atomic fusion reaction. So we can expect such results from this mission.